Welcome to Get Sleepy. Tonight, we delve into a long and thrilling fictional crime story designed to captivate your imagination while gently easing you into sleep. As you settle into your cozy bed, let the calm narration guide you through this chilling tale. In the heat of the summer of 1992, the small town of Blackwood Pines was known for its dense forests and tranquil lakes. It was a hidden gem, a perfect retreat for those looking to escape the chaos of city life. But this summer would be different, as a dark legend that had been buried for years was about to resurface. The townspeople spoke in hushed whispers of the Beast of Blackwood Pines, a fearsome creature said to roam the forests at night. According to local folklore, the beast was once a man named Victor Holloway, a hermit who lived deep in the woods. Legend had it that Victor was cursed by a witch he had wronged, transforming him into a monstrous creature that craved human flesh. One sweltering evening, a group of college friends decided to spend the weekend camping in Blackwood Pines. Among them were Kevin, Ashley, Brian, and Rachel. They had heard the stories of the beast, but dismissed them as mere superstition. They were excited to explore the forest and enjoy a weekend of hiking and adventure. As the sun set and the air grew cooler, they reached their campsite near a serene lake. They set up their tents and started a fire, laughing and sharing stories as the stars twinkled above them. The forest seemed peaceful, and the legend of the beast felt like a distant memory. As darkness enveloped the forest, strange sounds began to emanate from the woods. The friends heard rustling leaves and distant growls, but they brushed it off as the sounds of wildlife. Kevin, the group's leader, suggested they explore a bit deeper into the forest. Reluctantly, the others agreed, and they grabbed their flashlights and ventured into the trees. They walked for about an hour, the sounds of the forest growing louder and more unsettling. The further they went, the more they felt an eerie presence around them. The air grew thick with tension, and the friends could feel eyes watching them from the darkness. Suddenly, they stumbled upon an old, decrepit cabin hidden among the trees. It looked abandoned, covered in moss and surrounded by overgrown vegetation. Curiosity got the better of them, and they decided to investigate. As they approached the cabin, a foul stench filled the air, making them gag. Inside the cabin, they found evidence of someone living there recently. There were tattered clothes, broken furniture, and strange symbols carved into the walls. Brian, who had a knack for the supernatural, recognized some of the symbols as those used in dark rituals. The atmosphere grew heavier, and a sense of dread settled over them. Just as they were about to leave, they heard a low, guttural growl from outside. Panic set in as they realized they were not alone. They turned off their flashlights and huddled together, listening to the heavy footsteps approaching the cabin. The door creaked open, and a massive, shadowy figure filled the doorway. The beast was unlike anything they had ever seen. It stood over 7 feet tall, covered in matted fur, with glowing red eyes and razor-sharp claws. It sniffed the air, its growls growing louder as it sensed their presence. The friends were paralyzed with fear, unable to move or speak. The beast lunged at them, its claws slashing through the air. Kevin pushed the others out of the way and tried to fend it off with a broken chair leg. The beast swiped at him, sending him crashing into the wall. Ashley screamed as the creature turned its attention to her, its eyes burning with hunger. Brian grabbed a lantern and threw it at the beast, the flames engulfing its fur. The creature howled in pain, thrashing wildly as it tried to put out the fire. Taking advantage of the distraction, the friends ran out of the cabin and into the woods, their hearts pounding with terror. They ran blindly through the forest, branches tearing at their clothes and skin. The beast's howls echoed behind them, growing fainter as they put more distance between themselves and the cabin. Exhausted and covered in cuts and bruises, they finally reached their campsite. They quickly packed up their gear and fled the forest, vowing never to return. The legend of the Beast of Blackwood Pines had proven to be terrifyingly real. They reported their encounter to the authorities, but no trace of the creature was ever found. The town was left to wonder if the beast still roamed the woods, waiting for its next victims. Years later, the friends remained haunted by the events of that night. They could never forget the terror they had faced and the lives they had narrowly escaped with. The Beast of Blackwood Pines became a cautionary tale, a reminder of the dark forces that lurked in the shadows of the world. Meanwhile, back in Blackwood Pines, life continued as usual. The townspeople carried on with their daily routines, though the legend of the beast lingered in the back of their minds. Every so often, there would be a report of strange sounds or sightings in the woods, but no concrete evidence ever surfaced. One particularly hot summer, a new family moved into town. The Watsons were looking for a fresh start, and the tranquil setting of Blackwood Pines seemed perfect. Their teenage son, Jake, was an adventurous spirit, much like the group of friends who had encountered the beast years before. Jake quickly made friends with some of the local kids, including Sam, Lucy, and Tom. They loved exploring the forest, despite the warnings from their parents about the old legends. To them, the stories were just that, stories. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Jake and his friends decided to venture deeper into the woods than they had ever gone before. Armed with flashlights and a sense of adventure, they set off into the forest. The air was thick with humidity, and the sounds of cicadas filled the air. They laughed and joked as they walked, their flashlights casting long shadows among the trees. As they moved deeper into the woods, the atmosphere grew more oppressive. They stumbled upon the same decrepit cabin that Kevin and his friends had found years earlier. It looked even more dilapidated, with nature slowly reclaiming it. The door hung off its hinges, and the windows were shattered. A sense of unease settled over the group, but their curiosity pushed them forward. Inside, they found the remnants of what looked like an old campsite. There were tattered sleeping bags, empty food cans, and a fire pit filled with ash. The strange symbols were still etched into the walls, and the air was filled with the same foul stench. Sam, who was the most skeptical of the group, started to feel uneasy. As they explored the cabin, they found an old journal hidden under a loose floorboard. The pages were yellowed with age, filled with cryptic writings and sketches of strange creatures. Jake began to read aloud, the words sending shivers down their spines. "Beware the beast of Blackwood Pines. It roams these woods, cursed to eternal hunger. The witch's mark binds it, and only fire can drive it away. Those who venture too deep will face its wrath." Suddenly, a low growl resonated from the shadows outside the cabin. The friends froze, their flashlights shaking in their hands. The growl grew louder, and the floorboards creaked under heavy footsteps. They knew they had to escape, but fear rooted them to the spot. The beast burst through the doorway, its eyes glowing with malevolent hunger. It was even more terrifying than the stories had described, its fur matted with dirt and blood. The friends screamed and scattered, desperately trying to find a way out. Jake grabbed the old journal, clutching it to his chest as he ran. He remembered the words about fire and knew it was their only chance. "Sam, grab the lantern," he shouted. Sam fumbled with the lantern, finally managing to light it as the beast closed in. The creature roared, its eyes fixed on Jake. With a desperate yell, Jake swung the lantern, the flames licking at the beast's fur. The creature howled in pain, recoiling from the fire. Taking advantage of the moment, the friends ran out of the cabin and into the forest, not daring to look back. They ran until their legs gave out, collapsing in a clearing far from the cabin. Gasping for breath, they huddled together, the fear slowly giving way to relief. They had survived an encounter with the beast, but they knew they could never speak of it to anyone. Jake kept the journal, a grim reminder of their ordeal. The friends swore an oath of secrecy, knowing that the legend of the Beast of Blackwood Pines was more than just a story. They left the forest behind, but the memories haunted them for the rest of their lives. Years later, Jake returned to Blackwood Pines as an adult. He had become a writer, driven by his experiences to uncover the truth behind the legends. He spent years researching the history of the town and the origins of the beast, determined to find a way to break the curse. He discovered that the witch who had cursed Victor Holloway was buried in an unmarked grave deep within the forest. According to his research, the curse could only be broken by performing a ritual at her grave, using the symbols and words from the journal. With a sense of purpose, Jake returned to the forest one last time. He carried the journal, a lantern, and the determination to end the beast's reign of terror. He followed the clues he had pieced together, eventually finding the overgrown grave hidden among the trees. As the sun set, casting long shadows through the forest, Jake began the ritual. He carved the symbols into the ground and chanted the ancient words, his voice steady despite the fear gnawing at him. The air grew cold, and the ground trembled beneath him. The beast appeared, drawn by the power of the ritual. It roared in fury, but Jake stood his ground. He held up the journal, the flames from the lantern illuminating the words. "By the power of the witch's mark, I release you from your curse." The beast howled, its form flickering and distorting. The ground shook violently, and a blinding light enveloped the forest. When the light faded, the beast was gone, and the air was filled with an eerie silence. Jake collapsed to the ground, exhausted but triumphant. He had broken the curse, freeing Victor Holloway's tormented soul. The forest seemed to sigh in relief, the darkness lifting at long last. As Jake made his way back to town, he felt a sense of peace wash over him. He had faced the darkness and emerged victorious. The legend of the Beast of Blackwood Pines would live on, but as a tale of redemption rather than terror. Years later, the town of Blackwood Pines flourished once more. The story of the beast became a part of the town's history, a reminder of the power of courage and determination. And as the sun set over the tranquil lakes and dense forests, the townspeople could finally rest easy, knowing that the darkness had been banished for good. As you drift off to sleep, let the story of Blackwood Pines' dark secret remind you that even in the most peaceful places, danger can lurk. Allow yourself to relax deeply, letting the soft melody guide you into a peaceful slumber. Just enjoy the soothing music and let it carry you away into a restful sleep.